It's been 4 years since then. You must have grown up too, she said. A bright, excited voice filled the air, belonging to a beautiful woman, my first love, whom I hadn't seen in a long time. I had just returned to my hometown after 4 years, and I was about to head back to New York. She was still as beautiful and kind as ever. I realized then that I still had feelings for her. It was right after I realized my feelings. My first love, blushing, took my arm and said, actually, I was about to learn her true feelings. The time that had stopped 4 years ago began to move again at that moment. Well, this brings back memories, I said. Just as the plane landed on the runway, I found myself speaking out loud. An elderly woman sitting next to me heard this and chuckled softly. Are you from around here? She asked. Yes, I've just returned after 4 years, I replied. Oh, that explains it. You sounded very nostalgic, she commented. Yeah, it really brings back memories, I said. As I scratched my head in a shy gesture, I looked out the window once again. 4 years ago, I left here for New York. The same scenery that I saw back then was now spread out before me. The excitement and thrill I felt at that time seemed to vividly come back. My name is Ethan. I'm 22 years old. I spent my university years in New York, but I'm originally from a southern city. Initially, I planned to work locally after high school graduation, but 4 years ago, I surprisingly got accepted into a well-known private university in the city. My classmates and teachers made a fuss, saying it was a miracle and that I'd used up a lifetime of luck as I moved to the city to start living alone. Always busy with something, those 4 years flew by. But looking back, it was quite an enjoyable university life. Somehow, I managed to graduate successfully, and I'm set to start working at a company in the city this spring. 5 days ago, a childhood friend I hadn't spoken to in a long time called me, having heard the news through our parents. He said, I'm throwing a party to celebrate your new job. Come back here. He's so pushy. He didn't even wait for my reply before hanging up. I thought, as I pictured my childhood friend's face, that I will complain when we meet. He was someone with both good and bad memories, so I can still remember him clearly. He must be the same as when I last saw him at 18, even now at 22. So, I decided to return home by plane a bit earlier than planned. However, the image I had of my childhood friend was completely overturned the moment we met again. Hey, long time no see, Ethan. In front of the pub, a woman greeted me with a wave. At that moment, I froze and said, excuse me, may I have your name? Huh? She looked puzzled. What are you talking about? And flicked my forehead. It's me. Have you forgotten your childhood friend's face after going to New York? Ava. Yes. Did you finally remember, Ethy? She smirked slyly and called me by an old nickname. That laugh, that way of addressing me. Indeed, it was Ava. She lived nearby, my childhood friend from kindergarten, or rather, an inseparable companion. She displayed exceptional athletic skills since she was a little girl and was a prowess. I looked up to her as our leader. I used to be a timid kid, which is why I was often teased and ended up crying to having a girly nickname, Ethy. She always had her hair cut short and dressed in t-shirts, shorts, or tracksuits. Even as she grew up, she never showed a feminine side, except for her name. But the woman in front of me, was she really Ava? I couldn't be blamed for doubting, as she had changed so much. Her once short hair was now long and curly. She wore light makeup on her face, and surprisingly, a pink dress. I noticed that male customers glanced at her upon entering the pub, perhaps captivated by this unmistakably beautiful woman. From any angle, she looked unmistakably feminine, and indeed, anyone would consider her a beautiful woman. Ava had undergone a stunning transformation. Oh, I remembered, but you've changed so much, I was shocked. Are you going to say it doesn't suit me, right? I know. Ava laughed heartily and slapped my back. Ouch. Stop it, that's so like you. Even though her appearance had changed, she was still the same old Ava inside. I protested, yet felt a bit relieved. Hey, Ethan. Long time no see. You hardly ever come back, you heartless guy. You've really changed a lot. You totally look like someone from New York now. About 10 people gathered, including me and Ava. One was training to take over his family's business. Another has graduated from a local university and plans to work in our hometown. And then there's one who's already married and has started a family. Our friends' lives were diverse, but they all welcomed me back with smiles. And then they all congratulated me, saying in unison, "Congratulations on your job." Thank you. I'm relieved you all haven't changed much, especially after seeing someone who's changed a lot at first. Who might that be, Ethan? I got a sharp look from Ava, but the other members just smiled wryly. Everyone must have realized who I was talking about, as they had seen her transformation up close, even more than I had. The friend sitting next to me whispered quietly into my ear. It was around the time she came back after finishing junior college that she suddenly changed like that. At first, everyone was shocked, wondering what had happened. But now, I guess we've gotten used to it. By the way, Ava is quite popular now. You better hurry or she will be taken. What? I almost let my mug slip from my hand. My friend looked puzzled and asked, "Isn't that the case? We were always together, so everyone thought you two were in a long-distance relationship." Who said that? I mean, I don't see Ava that way. As we talked, other friends gathered around, drawn by my voice. What's this? Love talk. I heard something about a long-distance relationship. Lucky you, Ethan. Girls in New York must be cute, right? Did you get a girlfriend in college? Tell us about it. Everyone was eagerly interested in my love life. Unfortunately, I had no stories to share. My 4 years were filled with nothing but studies and part-time work, completely no chance of romance. No, I don't have a girlfriend. I wasn't popular at all. My friends looked disappointed at my answer. Just then, I caught Ava's gaze from across the table. She was looking at me intensely, a seriousness in her expression that I had never seen before, even as her childhood friend. Eventually, the drinking party and after-party were over, and everyone started leaving. Some went home while others moved on to a third round at another place. This left me alone with Ava. Ethan, how long do you plan to stay here? I'm leaving tomorrow evening. I'm busy, you know. Oh, really? You're in a hurry to go back. Do you miss New York that much? Whose fault is it for calling me out all of a sudden like this? It was not strange for us to walk home together since our houses were in the same direction. However, due to my friend's unnecessary meddling, I found myself acutely aware of Ava next to me. It felt as if I was walking with a beautiful woman I had just met, making me restless and uneasy. How are your mom and dad? Are they well? Yeah. They talk more about you than me. They say you're doing well and working seriously. Well, I did cause them a lot of trouble in the past. Our conversation about own family led to reminiscing about old times, and finally, I started to feel more at ease talking to Ava. Ethan, you said you don't have a girlfriend. Is that really true? Her sudden question stopped me in my tracks. Ava is talking about love. It's unimaginable. What really happened in these 4 years? However, the following question that completely froze me in place. Do you avoid getting a girlfriend because you're still in love with her? Oh, really? I see. It's not like that. I've given up on her a long time ago. Huh? Ethan is quite persistent. Huh? Listen to what I'm saying. It's not like that. What about you, Ava? Any boyfriends? Why are we talking about me now? Trying to divert the conversation, I quickened my pace to pass Ava. Ava, apparently annoyed, chased after me and reached out to grab me. Finally, I began to feel a bit more at ease, returning to our old playful banter. My heart had been racing too much since earlier, almost to the point of stopping. Ava had hit the nail on the head. 4 years ago, there was a girl who had feelings for me, but my feelings never reached her. Right after that heartbreak, I moved to New York. Anyway, she probably has a boyfriend by now. I'll find a cute and nice girlfriend in New York. Are you telling me about getting a girlfriend? It's impossible, Ethan. If you do, it's either a misunderstanding or a scam. You'll see. Chasing each other like children, I soon found myself laughing. Even when I was heartbroken, Ava had a way of teasing me to offer comfort in her own way. I never had romantic feelings for her, but as a childhood friend and a buddy, I liked that side of Ava. What time is your flight tomorrow? Maybe I'll come to see you off. Heck, it's embarrassing. You're just going to gather some idle folks and come in a big group to see me off, aren't you? Just like when I left for New York. I won't do that, idiot. Just go back quickly. to New York or wherever. Hey, what's that about? Suddenly, Ava got angry and started walking away briskly on her own. I called out to a retreating figure. My flight's at 5 p.m. tomorrow. If you don't make a fuss, you're welcome. Like I'd come to see you off. While grumbling, Ava casually raised her hand and waved it in the air. It's a sign for okay that we used to do back in the day. And so, I was set to return to New York the next day with Ava seeing me off. The meetup was 4 p.m. on the next day. However, Ava didn't show up. Instead, another woman approached me. What a coincidence, I thought. I could only stand there, surprised and speechless. Miss Lily, I inadvertently called out to a woman sitting in the lobby. Her beautiful hair flowed down to her back. She had sharp eyes, a high nose, and lips tied in a tight knot. She had a smart, sophisticated aura, like an executive from the city, just as I had thought when I first met her. The woman also noticed me and looked up. Then she exclaimed, "Aw," and her eyes widened. Could it be Ethan? Yeah, hello. My heart started racing, and I couldn't look at her directly. Because she was Miss Lily, the woman I had unrequited feelings for 4 years ago. Seemingly unaware of my turmoil, Miss Lily cheerfully spoke up. Wow, Ethan, you've changed so much. I hardly recognized you. You've become so grown up. Ah, but of course, you are no longer a boy next door. It's been 4 years. Miss Lily, you haven't changed at all, still so beautifully. As I stammered, feeling my face burn up, Miss Lily looked surprised and then smiled softly. You're still the same. But Ethan, flattery won't get you anywhere. I'm already 32, too grown up to be called a young woman. Nostalgic, isn't it? She laughed, and I ended up laughing. I remembered her saying, I'm already 28 years old. 4 years ago. Don't tease me too much. I'm 10 years older than you, she had said as well. You don't have that matured look. You have been attractive ever since, and you don't look any different from my age, really. Sure. You're the only one who would say that, thank you. It's not like that. Just like in the past, it was like pushing against a closed door. No matter how much I complimented her, she would just smile and lightly brush it off. It always made me feel like I was not taken seriously, just a child in her eyes. Ethan, why are you at the airport? I'm on my way back to New York. What about you, Miss Lily? I just came back from New York. I was there for a training at the headquarters. I see. She had lived in New York. She moved to my hometown for work and had been living here for about 5 to 6 years. The first time I saw her, a city woman was too dazzling for me at that age. I couldn't even make eye contact, yet I couldn't take my eyes off her. I have never forgotten how I felt at that moment. From then on, I liked Miss Lily. The 10-year age gap didn't bother me at all. Well, it's been 4 years. Oh, by the way, how is Ava doing? I was caught off guard and lost for words when Miss Lily abruptly leaned in close, her beautiful face just inches away. Ava. Oh, she's doing really well. That's good to hear. She's been busy with her studies and job, so I haven't seen her much. You remember her too. Of course. She was always with you, a memorable girl. Were we together that much? Is that the reason what everyone got the wrong idea? I wanted to scold my past self. Perhaps Miss Lily had also misunderstood. Maybe that was one of the reasons I was declined. If I could go back to that time, I would never have taken Ava around her. Ava called me to come back from New York, even though I have important matters to attend tomorrow. That's why I'm returning on the 5 p.m. flight. Hearing this, Miss Lily sympathized. That sounds tough. Take care. Meanwhile, Ava isn't here. The meetup time have passed. What's she doing? Still hasn't gotten over her habit of being late. Just as I grumbled, a woman's voice called out from afar. Ethan. A woman was running towards us and stopped abruptly when she reached us. Oh, Miss Lily. Ava. It's been a while. Are you here to see Ethan off? Miss Lily greeted her cheerfully, but Ava's expression was sour, as if she wasn't happy to see Miss Lily. Come by some time. Seeing your cheerful face always brightens my day. Yeah, maybe if I have time, Ava replied in a muffled voice, not making eye contact with Miss Lily. When I was about to reprimand her for being rude, Ava suddenly lifted her face. Miss Lily, why are you at the airport? just as I thought maybe. In a moment, just as Ava seemed to be about to say something, one of our smartphones rang. Oh, it's me. My mom. With a complaint, Ava reluctantly answered the call. Then, in the next instant, Ava exclaimed in surprise, her voice echoing loudly in the lobby. Once the call ended, she crouched down, her face looking as if she was about to cry. Ava. What's wrong, Ava? Miss Lily and I rushed to her. Lily's face was pale, and her hand trembled, holding the phone. My sister. Sister. Ava has an older sister, 5 years her senior, who is married and lives in Los Angeles. I remembered Ava mentioning at yesterday's drinking party. Her baby's due date is soon. She also mentioned in a happy mood that her family will visit her sister and the baby to welcome the arrival of their new family member. Did something happen to her sister? She had a premature labor, a month early. She collapsed and was taken to the hospital. They will perform an emergency C-section to save both mother and her baby. The condition is not good, and both mother and baby are at the risk. Trembling, Ava clung to me saying, "What should I do if something happens to my sister?" Calm down, Ava. Where's her husband? He's away on a work assignment. Ethan, what if something happens to my sister? Give me a second. Let's get the earliest flight ticket to Los Angeles via New York. Stand up, Ava. Miss Lily pulled Ava to her feet and firmly held her hand. Listen, I'll pay for your ticket. Just get on the plane and go to your sister. Miss Lily. Ava's eyes widened and tears started to roll down her cheeks. Miss Lily smiled gently, reassuring her, "We're here for each other in tough times. Let's go. It will be all right. Thank you so much." Wiping her tears, Ava walked with Miss Lily to the counter. However, she returned shortly after proceeding to the ticket counter, her face even paler. All the flights to New York are fully booked. The earliest availability is tomorrow, or else it's a waiting list. Really? Unfortunately, the college spring break just began, which means a lot of travelers are returning home or going on holiday vacation trips. Waiting for a cancellation is almost hopeless. If something happens to her sister in the meantime, Ava, probably thinking the same, finally broke down crying. Lord, please help. It was the first time I saw Ava cry. I know her well. She used to be rough and had a sharp tongue, to the point where I doubted if teasing me and watching me cry was her hobby. But at the same time, I know she is a person with a kind heart who cares deeply for her friends and family. Seeing her tears, which she never showed me before, I could imagine how anxious she must be feeling. It made my heart feel heavy. So, I said, "Here it is." Ava slowly lifted her face, wet with tears. I took something out of my bag and handed it her. It was my 5 p.m. flight ticket to New York. Cancel this booking, then get my seat for you. Check-in is about to start. Let's go. This time, I pulled Ava's hand and took her back to the counter. But she stopped me. Wait, Ethan. What are you saying? You won't be able to go back. And you have something important tomorrow. Indeed, I have a pre-employment training session at my new job tomorrow. Missing it for personal reasons might give a bad impression to the company. Even in such a situation, Ava was worried about me. I can take the first return flight in the morning. Do you know how many times I've taken New York trains? I'll find a fastest route to the office. But, are you in a position to worry about others? You should head to the restroom first. Your makeup is all messed up from crying. Planning to scare the people at the counter, I joked. Finally, Ava showed a faint smile. Would you let me help? Consider it a payback for earlier. Ms. Lily took out her makeup pouch and smiled at Ava. Then she gave me a different, somewhat exasperated smile. You never changed, Ethan. Me. Yes. Despite having your own issues, you always prioritize others in need. You're as kind as ever. Is that so? I just happened to have a ticket. It's not like missing the training would revoke my job offer. Being praised so directly made me feel so embarrassed I could feel heat in my face. Especially since it involved Miss Lily. Getting all flustered. Maybe you should wash your face too. Ava's remark snapped me back to reality. She wasn't crying anymore and was grinning at me. It seemed she had regained her spirits. Shut it. I'll charge you double for the ticket. Duh. How about that juice you owe me from last time? What are you talking about? If that's the case, then I also have. While Miss Lily was fixing Ava's makeup, Ava and I kept bringing up old things, arguing endlessly. And when we finished at the counter and returned to Miss Lily, we were still arguing. Maybe I should ask for my ticket refund after all that trash talk. I could give it back, but then the price is quadrupled. That's just extortion. Watching us, Miss Lily chuckled. You two are still so close. Both of you. Then she said something that stunned both me and Ava. Are you two dating? What? No, we're not. Who would date this guy? We both denied it simultaneously. But Miss Lily didn't seem convinced. Even though you're so in sync, I think you two make a great couple. I'm tired of these misunderstandings. The last thing I wanted to hear from Miss Lily's mouth was that Ava and I were a good match. She knows how I feel. Angrily, I blurted out, "You still in my heart, Miss Lily, even now." Miss Lily looked shocked, and I couldn't hold myself. That day, you didn't come, but you've been in my heart all these 4 years, even though I knew there was no hope. The pain of my unrequited love, as fresh as if it happened yesterday, came flooding back. It was in the winter of my senior year of high school. Fine, do whatever you want, but don't cause trouble for others. Even the teachers had given up on me. In high school, I was really troubled. The constant arguments with my parents, my poor grades, among other things. There were various reasons, but I was frustrated every single day. I took out my frustrations through fights and nights out, which provided a temporary relief. But when I came to my senses, I would fall into self-loathing. Then, the cycle of irritation would start all over again. Gah, we're banned from this place too. Even though I apologized, isn't that harsh? It's because you fought with guys from another school, Ava. Now I'm in trouble as well. I fought back for you to get even. You're such a coward, can do anything without me. Ava was in the similar circumstances to me. She was always compared to her older sister, who was outstanding academically, eventually exploding in frustration. We together often cut classes and had a series of quarrels, resulting in teachers and people in our community hating us. And gradually, I found myself losing any sense of direction or purpose. My fate changed in the summer of my senior year. While my classmates were busy with exams and job hunting, I was still the same, always messing around, not thinking about the future. What will you do after graduate from school? Well, just get a part-time job, earn enough to eat and have fun. It's not a big deal. You say it right. Hey, it's so hot here. Should we go somewhere cooler? Sounds good. Looking around the town, most places had banned us. The only place we could enter was a large bookstore near the station, where we had never been before. Heck, just books. It's cool here, but I feel sick. Me too. Oh, that area looks good. Let's take a break there. We occupied a corner of the quiet store, making noise and sitting on the books, as usual. A female staff member of the bookstore noticed us. She marched up to us and pointed sternly at where I was sitting. Get off there, right now. What? You're sitting on merchandise. Books are not for sitting on. They're for reading and gaining knowledge. Initially, I was annoyed at being lectured so suddenly. She was much older than us, in her late 20s. She was her long hair tied back, wearing a plain white shirt and jeans, with an apron, simple, unadorned, but beautiful. What's this old hag saying, Ethan? Stop it, Ava. Don't be rude, and get off the books. What? I feel embarrassed every time I remember how innocent a boy I was. I fell for the bookstore employee at first sight, but she was unaware of my feelings. She sternly said, Look here. Do you know what this section is? It's for people who are serious about their future test books and reference materials. So, you're saying we don't belong here? Exactly. She cut me off firmly, and I wanted to erase the memory of being captivated by her. This woman turned out to be just like the others, hating me. Just another person trying to exclude someone like us, just like the teachers and adults in town. Don't bother others. Think of those around you. Let's go, Ava. If that's what she wants, we wouldn't come back. I urged Ava to leave the bookstore, but then that woman said, Think about your future. Huh? You're still a kid. It's natural to cause trouble. But don't make things complicated and ruin your future. You'll be the one regret what you have done to yourself and pay for what you're doing right now. though I hated lectures and rational arguments. Her words somehow resonated with me. She was angry for my sake, not someone else's. It was the first time I met someone like her, making me feel somehow refreshed. Think about what you want to do. Then you can come back here. If you need a book that's not here, don't hesitate to ask. Saying so, the girl with the nameplate Lily smiled brightly. I fell in love with her for a second time. That was how I met Miss Lily. I learned she was 10 years older. I couldn't give up on this unattainable love. For me, age gap didn't matter. That novel is interesting, right? I love it too. Well, but I don't quite get what the protagonist is thinking. That's because, in my interpretation, at first, I had no interest in books at all. I just wanted to see her, so I kept going to the bookstore where she worked. While sneaking glances at her, I would pretend to browse through books as a camouflage. But gradually, I began to think, this might actually be interesting. By the time summer vacation was over, I had completely fallen in love with reading. Ethan, why have you been attending classes lately? They are so boring. It's surprisingly interesting if you actually go. If you really try, studying can be fun, especially subjects like modern literature. That makes no sense. It doesn't suit you at all, Ethan. Say whatever. Ava, I've decided to apply to a university in New York. What? No way. Lily was a graduate of the Faculty of Arts from the prestigious university. Everyone laughed at me and said, it's too late to start studying, and got upset, saying, going college is not a joke. Take it seriously, or tried to persuade me to give up. But once I had decided on my path, I was adamant. Lily, if I am accepted, I'll confess to you. In that case, allow me to invite you for an outing with me. If you promise me, I'll work incredibly hard. Ethan, you're making fun of an old lady like me again. Work hard for yourself, not for me. I am serious. It's for me. And Lily, you're beautiful, not old, and I'll still think so even when you are. Thank you. That's sweet. That's why I'm serious. I was always brushed off, but I was seriously in love with Lily. Just thinking about her, it helped me to focus on my studies more than I ever could before. Even when the nationwide exam results were bad or I was ridiculed by others, it was far better than giving up and not even confessing. Eventually, the new year began, and it was 1 month before the cutoff. Ethan, stop it. You're pale as a ghost. You haven't slept at all, have you? Just a little more. Now that it's come to this, I'll earn every point I can, even if it's just barely enough to pass. For Lily, I don't understand. What's wrong with you? She's 10 years older than us. What does age matter? Lily is beautiful, intelligent, and someone I respect as an adult. Ethan, you're being played. She wouldn't want to be with a kid like you. It's all in vain. I shut down Ava's words. Looking back, Ava was right. Her advice was precise, sincere advice, though I ignored it. Lily, I did it. 2 months later, I rushed into the bookstore, beaming with joy. I had admitted to the university I applied to on a whim. This score was barely enough, but the fact is I achieved it. So, I went to see Lily to fulfill my promise. Lily, I fell for you. Ethan, I'm free tomorrow. If you want to go out with me, please come to the station square. I'll wait all day. Ethan, I'll be waiting. As I declared, I waited. From early morning until dark. But Lily never came. Instead, Ava showed up, carrying my coat. I had no idea why she was bringing my coat. Ethan, your mom said bring this because it's going to be cold tonight. Are you still going to wait? I still have 5 hours. Maybe she's just busy and can't come yet. Ava sat silently on the bench where I had been sitting. Shivering in the cold, she waited with me until the date changed. But Lily never came. I knew it. Come on, Ethan, let's go home. Okay. Led by Ava, I went home. This is how I experienced heartbreak with Lily, and without seeing her again, I moved to New York. I chose to work at a publishing house in New York. Lily's bookstore's headquarters are in New York. I hoped that having a job in a related industry, I might meet her again someday. I have been harboring such faint hopes, in fact I don't have the courage to meet her. During college days, I lived alone, and it helped me to realize how childish I had been. Even at 28, I don't think I can be matured as Lily was 4 years ago. Now I can say that I appreciate you didn't come that day. Even if we had dated, I couldn't have offered you anything. It would have been frustrating and miserable. I just want you to know that you're still in my heart. But I realized you're out of my league. I can't ask you to go out with me anymore. I tried to tell Lily with a smile and a bright tone. But my voice trembled. It was embarrassingly uncool. It only made me feel more unworthy of her. Ava watched me silently, with a stern look. Just as I noticed her gaze and was about to say we should leave, Ava suddenly opened her mouth. Lily, what would you do if I said Ethan and I were dating? Ava hugged my arm tightly like a girlfriend, making a statement that surprised me the most, as if Ava challenged Lily. But just now. Answer me. Would you get angry, sad, or not care at all? Ava, what's going on? No matter how much she clung to me and came to the buck stop, Ava never warmed up to Lily. It wasn't just because of the age difference. Could it be that Ava hates Lily? I don't know the reason, but her attitude made it seem not so far-fetched. Maybe you still hold a grudge, because Lily scolded you the first time we met. Huh? That was clearly our fault. Besides, didn't Lily help us just now? Did you even thank her? Gratitude is one thing, but lying like this. Lily, it's annoying. Ava, with a growling, low voice, Ava muttered. Then, suddenly, she slapped me across the face. Ava, what are you doing? Idiot. You don't understand anything. Huh? Don't you know why I stick with you? Why did I insist you to give up on Lily? How come you didn't get me after all the time we spent together? Ava screamed at me as if mustering all her strength. In the next moment, she finally revealed it. Her own big secret that explained all her actions. You've always been someone special to me, Ethan. I decided to secretly take exams for junior college while you were studying for university. I spent 2 years studying makeup and fashion to change my appearance. All to become a woman who could match up to you. Why don't you understand, you fool? Ava. Indeed, Ava had changed. When we met again, I didn't recognize her at first. She had become so beautiful that when she spoke to me, I was taken aback, thinking, a beautiful person is talking to me. But to think that she did all that for me. But I never imagined it was for me. Ava, why don't you choose me? It doesn't matter if you still like Lily. I'm okay with that. After all, you can't be with her. She's out of your league, right? If you choose me, I'll move to New York right away. We can live together and I'll support you. I know everything about you, Ethan. After all, I've been with you much longer than Lily. Still embracing me, Ava smiled brightly. Back then, I only saw Ava as one of the buddies in my neighborhood. But now, she was unmistakably a beautiful woman. Just as I began to think of her as cute for the first time. Sorry. I was startled when my other arm, the one not embraced by Ava, was abruptly yanked. Surprised, I looked to the side, and there was Lily, pulling my hand. Lily, excuse me, do you still have business with Ethan? I thought Ethan looked troubled. Lily let go of my hand while avoiding eye contact, and Ava, snickering, hugged me tighter. So what? It's none of your business if Ethan's in trouble. You're a stranger, after all. Or did you actually like him? Both Lily and I exclaimed in unison at Ava's words. Then Ava grinned mischievously and waved her hand dismissively. Just kidding. That's impossible, right? You didn't get your hopes up, did you, Ethan? Ava, you. Lily, I'm sorry for saying something inappropriate here. It's absolutely impossible, right? After all, Ethan is 10 years younger than you. It's weird to get serious with such an age gap, right, Lily? Ava uttered this as if to drive the point home to a downcast Lily. I won't give up on Ethan, no matter how many times I'm rejected, because I'm serious. Unlike someone who was just playing around. Ava. Lily shouted something I had never imagined simultaneously. At the moment I asked Ava what she wants to say. It was serious for me too. I fell for Ethan. For a few seconds, as if the world had gone silent, I was speechless. Realizing what had happened, Ava roughly let go of my arm, and she sighed deeply. Really? You should have said that from the beginning. Then I wouldn't have had to put on this act. Act? What do you mean, Ava? Ignoring my confusion, Ava stepped in front of Lily, and Ava took Lily's flushed hand, forcing a handshake. Here, this is my thanks to you, Lily, and an apology for 4 years ago. Apology. As I looked puzzled, Ava turned back to me. Ava gave a wry smile and clasped her hands in front of me. Sorry. It's my fault you had an unrequited love, Ethan. What? Then, Ava revealed a shocking truth. The day you were heartbroken, I actually met Miss Lily. I never thought she would actually come. Were you really serious about dating Ethan? That day, Ava, who had been lying in wait, confronted Lily near the square. She asked if Lily's presence meant Ethan was special to her, and whether her feelings were genuine. Ethan worked incredibly hard for the university admission, almost ruining his health. Everyone said it was a miracle or just luck, but I don't think so. I've seen him working hard more than anyone else. I'm really frustrated it's all for you. If you're going to date him, be serious. I won't forgive you if you're just playing around with someone 10 years younger. Miss Ava. To Ava, Miss Lily seemed uncertain, which prompted her to confront her directly. So, she deliberately went to see her to confirm. Ava wanted to know if Lily's hesitation was cleared up, or if it wasn't. However, Lily's answer did not satisfy Ava. Honestly, I'm not sure. A nearly 30-year-old woman with a guy who can date any young girl. Should I really like Ethan? I do like him, but as an adult. Lily, do you like Ethan? I do, but as an adult. If you're unsure, give up now. Huh? Ethan is special to me. I can go right now and proudly say I want him to date me. Can you do the same, Lily? You can't say it, can you? Ethan won't understand unless you're clear. He's oblivious. Even if you start a relationship with him with ambiguous feelings, he won't doubt your intentions. If he thinks it's for your sake, he'll sacrifice himself and try his hardest. You know Ethan well. Of course. He's my childhood friend. I love him the most. With those words, Miss Lily turned back. Lily couldn't confidently declare her feelings for Ethan as assertively as Ava did because she lacked the confidence to do so. Ava decided to keep to herself that Miss Lily was on her way to the meeting place, so I could move on. She stayed with me out of guilt until I was convinced. It might have been different if I hadn't interfered. Ethan and Miss Lily might have ended up together. Part of me wanted to disrupt it because I didn't want you two to be together. So, I'm sorry, Ava said earnestly. So then, Miss Lily was telling the truth. She did love you, Ethan, but she thought about your well-being. She worried about you. You were seen with someone 10 years older. As a woman, I understand. Both of us loved you, Ethan. As Ava turned around, Lily visibly shuddered. Resigning herself, she nodded slowly. But like you, Ava, I wasn't just thinking about Ethan. I thought about myself too. I realized that I will age 10 years faster than him. Lily pondered her future, imagining herself at 30, then 40 and 50, growing older. She worried about the day when Ethan, who now says she's beautiful, might not only stop complimenting her but become disappointed with her aging self. These thoughts filled her with anxiety. Still, I realized after you left for New York that those worries were minor. Being by your side mattered more than disappointing you. And you didn't just compliment my appearance. Ethan acknowledged my dedication to job and how seriously I took my work. He appreciated my handwriting is neat and beautiful, and told me that I have talent in creating attractive handwritten store signage and decorations. Moreover, he mentioned that I have courage to firmly address misbehavior, even when dealing with troublemakers. Lily started listing the compliments I had given her over the past 6 months. I found myself becoming more and more attached to you, she said. Your ability to compliment people honestly, your sincerity and kindness, your efforts to change yourself, and even the serious look on your face when reading. After you left, I kept remembering all the things I liked about you. If you came back, I thought I'd finally say it. I missed the chance last year, but maybe next year. And just like that, 4 years flew by. Silly, isn't it? If I liked you that much, I should have reached out myself. But I was scared, thinking what if you found happiness with someone else? The time we could have spent together has already been reduced by 4 years. As she said this with a smile, a single tear rolled down Lily's cheek. I could sense Ava behind me, poised to push me forward. Before she could, I took a step towards Lily on my own. 4 years isn't a big deal compared to the decades we have ahead of us. But if something had happened to either of us, Wouldn't you regret those lost 4 years? Is that why we shouldn't be together? To avoid regret. Miss Lily shook her head firmly in response to my question. I don't care if I regret it, as long as I can spend even one more day with you. Then I feel the same. I hugged Miss Lily tightly as she leaped into my arms. At that moment, loud applause erupted throughout the lobby. What? We're being washed, you two. Abba's teasing words made Ms. Lily and I quickly part. Unnoticed by us, a crowd had gathered. Everyone around us was smiling, watching and hoping that my love for Lily would come to fruition. It turned out to be quite a grand beginning for us, hasn't it? We shared a laugh, our faces flushed, just as an announcement echoed in the lobby. Oh no, they're making a last boarding call for me. I need to check in quickly. As the boarding gate was announced to be closing soon, Ava rushed to the counter. Miss Lily and I called out to a retreating figure. Thank you, Ava. Me too. Thank you, Ava. Being thanked by both her love rival and the person she had unrequited feelings for must have been complex for Ava. Yet, she turned around with a broad smile, showing no signs of discomfort. Thank you for the ticket. But just so you know, there are plenty of better guys out there. I'll snag someone even more handsome and kinder than you in no time. Even if you come crying to me later saying, I should have chosen Ava, it'll be too late by then. After saying these farewell remarks, Ava rushed to the boarding gate. So basically, she's telling us to make it work, right? Is that what it means? Miss Lily asked, puzzled. I laughed and replied, of course, because Ava was an important childhood friend. After all, I've never seen anyone better than Ava. Afterward, Ava arrived at the hospital ahead of other family members. There, her sister had safely given birth to a healthy baby boy. Ava and her sister were able to reconcile their once strained relationship because of this incident. I was happy to know that giving up my ticket for her brought a positive outcome, although she keeps sending me tons of pictures saying, my nephew is too cute for words. Miss Lily soon requested a transfer to a New York store. Since she is an excellent staff member, she was given a good offer, which said, if you're willing, would you like to work at our headquarters? She accepted the offer and moved to New York, much to the regret of her hometown. And then, she started living with me in my apartment. We've already been living together for a year. Yes. You didn't forget our anniversary, did you? Of course not. Life with Ms. Lily is so enjoyable that time just flies by. While I feel happy about it, I also find myself thinking. Feeling happy about this, I simultaneously realize that every single day with her is immeasurably precious. If only I had done this back then. That is a thought everyone has at some point, often leaving behind only regrets. Usually, these reflections lead to irretrievable regrets. The reason I was able to live without regrets is because I had someone who pushed me forward. It was their clumsy kindness that showed me the path to a life free of regrets. Nobody is always right, and sometimes the right choice can lead to future regrets. That's why I choose paths that future me won't regret over the correct ones. If I have time to rue the past, I'd rather spend more moments with those dear to me.